Hello everybody, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This is my first video of 2024 based on my last drawing of 2023, and I drew a wit from the Dungeons & Dragons monster manual. The term wit has lost its old meaning of a person and come to stand for those undead humans who typically inhabit barrow mounds and catacombs. These creatures are most evil and hateful, seeking to destroy any life form they encounter. Wits shun bright lights and hate sunlight. So with this drawing being a wit that lives in catacombs, basically underground, I wanted to give it a sort of like a freaky look, make it look kind of spooky, obviously, and I think I achieved that. But I started off with the head, as you can see, and I wanted it to be like sort of hunched over and peering around the corner of a corridor or hallway. My initial thought from the start was to have the wit's hand near its mouth, as if to licking its fingers in excitement as it sees somebody approaching. You'll notice I'll pause the video. I pause because I'm thinking about the pose and how I want it to look. I wanted to give this wit like this really curly tip to its ears to make it look more like wicked or menacing. That's why I gave those curly tips to the ears. Here with the hair on the wit, I wanted to give it movement, because if you notice the cloth or the cowl that he is wearing is moving to the left, like there's some wind, a breeze or something. So I want the hair to go to the left also, because it's got like really light hair that moves with the wind. He doesn't have that much hair, but whatever hair it does have, it's flowing. One thing to pay attention to all my sketches and drawings is I try to knock everything in a little by little, so I leave everything sort of lightly sketched. And later on, when I'm finally happy with what I see, then I'll go in there and start rendering, putting darker areas and things like that. As you can see right there, I started doing the ribs, and I thought, well, I'll show some bones. Initially, but then when I started doing the rendering later on, the shadows, I decided to make it a silhouette because it just didn't look right. It looked weird. At this point of the drawing, I'm starting to do more detailed work now. I'm putting like in the knee, putting some bones and muscle tissue, tendons and things like that. So this is where I start to do more finalizing of the character and doing some lightly shadow work, which will probably build up later. Sometimes I may just leave the shadow as it is. It all depends on what it looks like altogether. But yeah, I'm gonna start to do more rendering from here on. To make any character look evil, I make the pupils white and the eyes dark black, and they look pretty nasty looking. Here with the eyes, I wanted to give it a puffy look. Like, this thing is filled with evil, and his original eyes that were more human-like have gotten puffy and big and disgusting. So, and I put the shadow work to give it that effect that it's protruding out of his skull. At this stage of the drawing, I start working up the shadows and darkening the darks with my HB, my HB lead, which gets kind of darker than my H lead. There are darker leads, but HB is as dark as I need it. I don't have to go that dark. So from here forward, you start seeing me actually rendering, popping things out, making areas darker, just to just make it look cooler looking with a nice contrast with the white paper. This part, I start to lightly shade the cowl or the garment that this creature is wearing, and I'll come back to it later on and make it darker. Sorry for the sun. I have a blind there and the sun was peeking through there. And here I am filling in the bones because I didn't like the way it looked. So I just left it as a silhouette. And right there I was darkening the garment near the face on purpose so we can focus in on the hand and the face. And like with any old garment, I put some rips and holes and made it look tattered, like that, they're moth-eaten and whatnot, because it is an old rag, and this has been there many hundreds of years with this wit. And so now I'm starting to work up more contrast, especially down below in this torso. And I start to work on the wall. Just some minor shading, nothing crazy. I'm not going to make the most beautiful looking wall here. It's just something that supports the character. So I'm not going to go in there and make any embellishments on the rocks. I think I do a little bit, but not too crazy. I made the tips of the garment darker to give some focus there. As I was doing the groundwork there with the rocks and the shadow, then I thought, what if I put some steps back there? Like this thing came from above somewhere. Maybe there's a mausoleum up there or something. So I figured, put some steps, maybe a little bit of a wall back there, and just give it a little more of a scene to this drawing. It's very simply done, but it's effective. You don't always have to draw some masterful works behind your main character, because sometimes it can detract from your main character. So it was a nice little detail that I put back there. And here we're coming to the end of the video. I hope you learned some things, you enjoyed this video and my process, and this is how I always do my work. I talk about it, I teach you so you learn for free, and I'll see you guys with more videos in 2024.